is just this idea of democracy as a thing you talk to people about. I gave a whole TED talk at one point about how, after listening to these voters for years and years, like, they don't care about democracy. Like, it's tough, and democracy's polarized now. And so, Trump's going to do all these things to dismantle liberal democracy as we know it. That's what you're talking about in terms of entrenching ways in which he's able to sort of stack things in his favor, putting fans of his in the civil service, all that stuff. But like, I also know that voters aren't going to be super responsive to the word democracy or threats to democracy. So like, what do we do now? How do we talk to people about the threat that he poses?
Well, number one, what you hear in those voters' voices is despair.
Yeah.
They are desperate. They're holding out for a hero, right? Like that song. They want something to believe in.
I want a hero.
Yeah, holding out for a hero. I'm not going to sing. That'd be bad. But like they need something uplifting. And I agree. Going out and saying like the worst is yet to come is not an inspiring message. But what is inspiring is essentially saying, if you are scared now, we have a way to fix it. This is where you have to have an alternative vision. I mean, never Trump, being negative. We've tried our best, but now is time to actually compete with a better vision. We've pointed out all the bad things. We are there. It is happening. Continuing to say why the sky is falling is not going to work. And so, what I'm thinking a lot about, and it's obviously a work in progress. So when you talk about how they entrench power, what that really gets down to is taking away your rights. And the thing that I keep returning to is how much a lot of people don't want to admit it, but they're scared. It kind of comes out in this like, well, I'm just going to wait it out. I'm just going to, what the women say, I'm going to try to hold my breath.
Yeah.
I mean, that is dark. That is dire. So how do we communicate this in a way that turns it around where it says, we are going to be able to protect your freedoms, protect your right to speak out, protect your right to organize by exercising these freedoms in a way that's positive. I don't have the perfect way of getting there because I do think it's going to take a lot of trial and error. But first, that begins with trying and getting people out of their corners and convincing them the worst thing that you can do is just sit on the sidelines and wait for this to burn out. The voter there who is saying, well, maybe the cabinet members won't be there for a long time. This is not going to resolve. It goes to the beginning of the discussion. It's not going to resolve on its own, right? Like being excited for the task that is before us in a way that is uniting and inspiring. You have to start there.